viewers, this is Jade. It's time for my March Fobonichi or Creative Journal flip. So let's jump right into it. Here is just my intro March page, and as you can see, it's just a lazy panda laying on some bamboo with a nice, cute little bee off to the side here. I did my bookshelf for the month of February of the books I completed. The Complete Works of Florence Scovel Shinn by Florence Scovel Shinn. Very interesting material, and Dracula by Bram Stoker, and this is something I've been wanting to read and complete for years and years now, so I'm glad I finally got that done and have a nice basis to know what the myriad of Dracula Vlad stories are based off of. The next day, I had been contemplating how I think a lot of people, including myself, are more scared of success than they are of failure, because once you reach or obtain a level of success, people are going to expect that from you consistently, and you start to worry if you'll be able to even deliver that consistently, and all of those thoughts can kind of be overwhelming. So I feel like people are more scared of success sometimes than they are of failure, and it got me thinking about that poem, Our Deepest Fear, and I wanted to put that in my journal. And I looked online to see if I could find a cute printout of it, and I didn't find any I liked, so I started making my own. And if it's okay for me to do, I'll probably end up listing this in my Etsy shop as a digital art print. But anyway, it just says, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, or fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? We were born to make manifest the glory of God within us, and as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give others permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Marianne Wilson. And I love that. The next day, this is March 2nd, I have been watching, suggested videos that come up in your YouTube, and I happened to click on a video, with Charlie Hunnam, and he was doing this challenge called 22 for 22, and it was for him to do 22 push-ups in 22 days and challenge 22 people to do the same in honor of the 22 service men and women who take their lives on average daily. And it got me to thinking, can I even do a push-up? And, I used to be able to do one, of course, as a child and a teenager. However, my body has been through so much in the past 10 years. Plus, I got down on the floor and tried, and it was just like, no, ma'am. This is not what we're doing today. So I am dedicating myself to strengthening my arms so I can, by the end of the year, at least be able to do one real push-up off of the floor. So thank you for the inspiration, Charlie. And I added the skate and the bicycle because I also got to thinking about activities I used to love to do as a kid that, you never think about as exercise because they're just fun things that you love to do. So I'm thinking about, I used to love to skate and bike and swim. I would spend all day at the pool. So I'm thinking about buying me some skates and a bike, and there is a pool not too far from my house. So maybe trying to incorporate some of those activities into my life again. And here you can see I am starting to use color. And I have been inspired by a few different journalers who have been using color in their journals, and I just love the way it looks and wanted to give it a go. So I'll link them below. One of them is Journal with Dolly, another is Love Lynn's Life, and another is Jackie Q. You guys check them out. Their journals are off the chains. I love them. This day I was just kind of doing some random things, trying to get things uploaded and yada yada yada. And also early morning I had finished this series called Tidelands on Netflix, and while this show is not overly fantastic, it was good enough for me to be to want a second season because I do want to know what happens. And it's kind of about sirens and mermaids and things of that nature. So pretty good show if you're just looking for something cute and kind of fluffy, quick and fluffy to watch. That's not a bad choice. The next day, this was the day I drew a panda because this was the day I actually got the inspiration to draw my March intro page of what I wanted to draw. And then I got the news saw the news online that Luke Perry had passed away. And while I wasn't the biggest fan of 90210, I did watch sporadically some episodes. And the ones I watched, Dylan McKay did happen to be my favorite character, because I don't know, I've always been kind of drawn to like the rebel type characters. And what I really loved, he played Fred Andrews, the father of Archie Andrews, on the new, or not so new anymore, on the show Riverdale on the CW, which is based off of the Archie comic books, but it is a much darker version of Archie than in the comic books. But he played Fred Andrews, and I loved him as Archie's dad. I thought he was phenomenal. He just seemed like a nice, kind guy. So it was sad to hear about him passing away. I was hoping he'd make a full recovery from his stroke. March 6th was a good day for me. I made my first Etsy sale, and what's cool about it is 2 days earlier I had dreamed that I checked my phone and I checked my email, and the notification for that my first Etsy sale had happened had come through on my phone, and it happened the exact way that it happened in my dream. I was working on something, and I picked my phone up and saw that I had some emails, checked my email, and it was like, oh, you made your first Etsy sale. I was like, what? So anyway, March 7th, I went to go get an oil change. This was a good day. As you can see, the color again. Anyway, I went to go get my oil change. Usually I get there when it's only like 30 to 45 minute wait. But today I get there and it's 2 hours wait. And I'm like, okay, whatever time I have to wait is the time I have to wait. Whatever is going to happen is going to work out. So, and I had my book and my phone, so I'm perfectly fine entertaining myself for 2 hours. Waited for 2 hours, got my oil change, and then went up the street to get some gas, and then came back and stopped by the Tuesday morning. And it was absolutely perfect timing, because this was the day I was able to grab all the Maggie Home items that all of my crafty friends had been hauling for weeks that I had yet to even see in my store. So I got there. The shipment had come in today. What is it called? The truck came in today, and once I got there, it was a little after 2. Everything had been placed out. I even had the aisle to myself. I didn't have to reach over anybody or navigate around anybody or anything like that. So I got to take my time and leisurely pick out all the things that I wanted, and it was just fantastic. So the next day, my nephew's mom had been working on an accent wall, and then we watched SWAT. We got caught up on that. Well, this was March 10th. March 12th, I'd been trying to, my aunt had reached out to me about a craft show, so I've been trying to figure out what projects I wanted to do, and wanted to try out the, HTV designs on these pouches, and just had to make myself sit down and do it and figure it out and tell myself this is not hard. Stop trying to make things difficult. And it wasn't. Once I did it, it was like, okay, yeah, I got this. And then my cousin also stopped by, and he is recently engaged, so he just kind of stopped by to update us on the things going on, that they picked the venue that they're going to be getting married at, if they picked a date and stuff like that. And I was just, encouraging him and telling him, look, I'm happy for you. If you're happy, I'm happy, and don't let anybody else kill your happy, okay? March 13th, I was very excited for this day because Triple Frontier was released on Netflix and limited theaters. I had already made arrangements with my cousins to watch this in theaters if I could find it in my local theaters. However, my local theaters were not trying to let me be great. So I was like, you guys let me know. We can still watch together, but you guys let me know a date and time that is good for you. And somewhere in here, I had heard this phrase came to me, the turning point. I don't even really know what it means, but I'm just going to take it as good things are on the horizon for me. And also, that day I had been, was it this day, or it may have been this day or the day before, but I had watched this video on YouTube by Amy Westmoreland, who is an LOA coach. And she was just doing this exercise on how to manifest a gift card, which I thought, I was like, okay, yeah, let's just try it or whatever. So I did the exercise with her, and then I didn't, after I did, I didn't think about it anymore. And the next day I woke up and Verizon had sent me a text about signing up for their rewards program. Now, I had previously gotten this text before and just kind of ignored it and was like, oh, I'll sign up next time. And so finally I was like, let me just go ahead and sign up for this thing. And once I did and signed into it and everything, it was like, oh, you've already earned enough points to get a prize. And the prize was a free $25 gift card, guys, to like restaurant.com. Like, you know, you can pick whatever restaurant that's in the area or whatever. So, I mean, it worked like that. So, yeah, again, working with color, as you can see. This, I think I did a journal with me, and I'll have that playlist link below for those who are interested. And I just loved, I saw this, somebody had done this, and it was a tutorial, and I wanted to follow it because I love the way it looked. And while there are things I definitely can improve on, I'm pretty happy with the way that it turned out. And this was March 14th, and this was just a day of manifestation wins for me. I had my appointment at Wake. So I wanted to have a quick in and out doctor's appointment. That happened. I wanted to be put back on monthly visits. That happened. There was a point where I was in the room with the nurse, and the doctor peeked his head in and left. Now, when they do that, they tend to not come back for a while. So soon after he peeked his head in, the nurse left. She was done, you know, doing her part or whatever. And I was like, I am not trying to sit here all day waiting for him. So in my head right there, I revised the scene, and I brought him back up where the nurse was sitting there, and I was talking to her, and he peeked his head in, and instead of leaving back out, he came fully into the room. And no sooner than I opened my eyes, he was coming back into the room. I found those Jen Hadfield tags at Tuesday morning that I wasn't able to find on my big shopping trip the previous day. I did some cool cloud busting. If you guys want to know what that is, I'll let you know in a quick, short other video. I rediscovered some gift cards I'd completely forgotten about. I found $20 in this case that I have not stored money in ever, and will not store money in ever. So I don't know where the $20 came from. But yeah, I happened to be looking through stuff because it was funny. I actually misplaced my debit card, and I was just looking everywhere at this point. And I knew I didn't lose it. I knew it was in the house somewhere. I just didn't know where. And so I was like, okay. I looked in that case and found $20. I was like, okay, I'm here for it. Extra $20 for me. And then, in regards to my debit card, I was like, okay, Jade, what are you doing? Chill out. So I did a quick visualization of me actually using my debit card at Tuesday morning. Because if I'm using my debit card, that would imply that I have found it. Okay? So it's called living in the end. Go right to the end. What is it that you want? I want to find my debit card. What would imply that I found my debit card? That I'm actually using my debit card. So I did that visualization, okay? And then I dropped it, and I went into, I had to take a shower. Went to the shower. I was doing like some affirmations, like whatever belongs to me is mine by divine right. I can't lose anything, yada, yada, yada. Something to that nature. And I got out of the shower, got dressed, and something was just like, check your coat pocket. Check my coat pocket. Boom, there it was. So yeah, it was just like a day full of manifestations, and I was just like, imagination for the win. The next day, this day, I didn't even intend on going out shopping anywhere. However, I know I needed batteries, and so I just kind of made a day of it. And I went to check some of the Hobby Lobbies because they were putting stuff on clearance again and like moving into different sections. And I wanted to check the books. And I went to Michael's, and I think I checked the Tuesday morning and yada, yada, yada. And later that day, I did get my batteries. And later that day, we finished up Luther season 5. Somebody needs to explain to me why this show is only 5 episodes. Like, it's such a good show. I don't understand why this show is is so short. So BBC, I think we need to get it together and come up with some more episodes in the season. And because I love me some Idris Elba now. I love me some Idris Elba, and this is one of my favorite roles of his. So yeah, let's get on that, BBC. Okay, this day, you guys know I had made plans. I was like, I wanted to watch it in theaters, Triple Frontier, but I was like, okay, no, we can't do that, so I'll get together with my cousins and watch it. Well, they never got back to me, and frankly, by March 16th, I was tired of waiting. Okay, so I was like, all right, guys, I don't know what y'all doing, but I'm finna watch this movie tonight. And so early over in the morning, that's exactly what I did. And being honest, had it not been for Charlie Hunnam, I would not watch this movie again. And I'm not being biased when I say this, but his character was absolutely my favorite, because to me, his character was the most sensible and had the most damn sense out of everybody. I actually really liked the brother character, and I liked the guy who played the pilot. I liked his character. Didn't care for the Ben Affleck character, and wasn't really that enthused about the Pope character. The guy who actually like puts the mission together. And I feel like for these, I just feel like the op they went to actually getting it, I felt like it was way too easy. You know what I'm saying? Like there really wasn't that many obstacles in them getting what it is that they went for. And I don't know. And then they were in the jungle, and Charlie's character had gotten shot, and then nobody's infected. It was just crazy. Anyway, so I did finally get that watched. That day I went out again, went the other direction to check that Hobby Lobby for the clearance stuff and the books, and decided to stop by New York and Company because I love their clothes and I hadn't been in there in a long time. And so while I was on my way into the store, I just happened to be repeating this affirmation to myself: money comes to me easily and effortlessly. Money comes to me easily and effortlessly. And so I went into the store, and they were having an 80% off sale. And I was like, oh, great, awesome. Like, I came here at the perfect time. Got me a few clothes, really cute clothes for nice prices. And then when I came out to go back to my car, I found $2 on the sidewalk. And I was like, well, I did say money comes to me easily and effortlessly. So, and then when I got back home, I just did a little bit of spring cleaning. Started cleaning out clothes that I didn't really fit well anymore, or either I just really didn't know knew I wasn't going to wear anymore. So that was the 16th. Now, this was actually back on the 8th. You guys know sometimes I get out of order. But this was International Women's Day. And just used this sticker by Oso Paper Co. I'll link her below. And this sticker by Tim Holtz from the Tiny Word, one of the Tiny Word sticker packs. It says, we are fearless, independent, and original. And I love this one by Steve Martin. It says, be so good they can't ignore you. And again, playing around with the colors here. And I just love this day because International Women's Day, and I actually ended up having a meaningful texting conversation with one of my best friends. Love her to pieces, so it was a good day. Now, March 18th, today was the day I was attempting to reach a state akin to sleep, which basically is a meditative state, but it's a specific state you get into to start an imaginal act, so it will be impressed upon your subconscious mind. And I always get to haggling with myself. Am I doing it right? Did I reach it? And this day I happened to see this pulsing blue light, like kind of in my forehead area. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I've never seen that before. And if I have, I never paid attention to it before. And I found out later that that was actually an indication that, yes, you have reached a state akin to sleep. And I was like, dang, I didn't know that. But I was glad I got the answer to that. And then later I found the interview. I didn't find it. It popped up in my suggested YouTube whatevers that Charlie did in regards to Triple Frontier with Ryan and Kelly. Now, when it first came out, my cousin had texted me and was like, yo, Charlie did an interview with Ryan and Kelly. Da 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 da. And I was like, she had texted me while I was asleep. So when I got up and saw, I was like, oh dang, I missed it. I'll have to catch it on YouTube. Well, this day it popped up in my suggested stuff. So I was like, oh, this is the interview my cousin was telling me about. And yeah, it was a cute little interview, and he was talking, and he got to tell me how he just got into Kundalini yoga, and I was like, Charlie, you are speaking my language, like as if I need any more reasons to adore you. Like, what is going on? So just loved it. It was a good day. This day, March 19th, just kind of doing some chores. I switched out my comforter set, washed my sheets, did all stuff kind of like that, and ended up feeling really very poorly. My chest and back started hurting, so I had to kind of afterwards take some pain medicine and just chill out and lay down and say, relax, girl. So yeah, March 21st, I did a journal with me on this as well. Again, trying to play around with color, and it just, a sticker says, I wish I used this light pink here, over here, and I wish I had gotten it darker so you can see this a little better. But anyway, it just says your heart knows the way. And in regards to that, I have been contemplating how everybody is always saying to be successful at whatever, you kind of need to have a specialized focus or a niche. And I'm like, with my current YouTube channel, the Lilac Dream channel, and blog, I don't want to niche down. Like, that's not what I'm feeling. And I was like, I want to be able to talk about my spirituality. I want to be able to talk about the books that I'm reading. I want to be able to talk about the shows, the television shows, or the movies that are blowing my mind. I want to be able to come on here and share my journaling. I want to be able to do all the things that I want to do and whatever. And it's funny because that day, Instagram was like, oh, Allie Brown has a live video. So I clicked on it, and somebody asked her about niches. And she was like, well, you can have this niche, and she was like, or you can be known as the person that has no niche. Your niche could be not having a niche. She's like, I used to follow this lady that did it all, and she was very successful and very popular, and yada, yada, yada. So I was like, see, that's confirmation for what I've been thinking. Like, I want to do things my way, and I want to, do several things on my channel, and what's for a person is for a person. So if somebody comes and they're into the journaling and they could give a crap about spirituality, then they can, ignore that part. Or if somebody loves to know what books I'm into but don't really give a crap about what I'm watching on TV, then they can ignore that part. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of thing. So I don't know. I want to do what I want to do, at least for now, and that's what I'm going to stick to. So the 24th, I have been rewatching Game of Thrones because the new season starts April 14th. So excited, and a lot of my friends are rewatching, or either new friends are watching for the first time. And every time they get to this episode, everybody's mind is freaking blown. The Dracarys episode. And if you watch Game of Thrones, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you don't, just watch it. Just watch it, okay? I'm telling you, it's the best thing this is the best thing on television. I mean, this show has cinema quality episodes. It is just so good. Now, I do find, in my experience, people who don't get past the first season is really not so much that the content is boring or anything like that. It's because they can't keep all of the characters straight. So go somewhere, get online. They have the breakdown of the characters, the houses and stuff like that. Find the breakdown, figure out who these people are, and once they do, re-watch it, and it'll totally open up for you. Totally open up your world. And then it's game over. It's game over for you, because you will fall down the Game of Thrones rabbit hole and never want to come out again. So yeah, just love that scene with Dany. It was just, she's just a boss, okay? The next day, I had been reading The 5 Lessons by Neville Goddard, and was learning some things from lesson 2. Things I had questions about, and it was really kind of just answering all those questions. So I was like, yes. And then I sat down to figure out knockout layering. and putting them in those trays that I did for my craft show. That's on my other channel, Lilac Jade. It will be linked below if anybody's interested. And this one turned out a little crooked, so I put it in here. And I just posted a picture. Once I got it done, I posted a picture of it on my YouTube, on my Facebook. And I had all these comments of people saying, "Oh, that's so cute. Oh, I love that. That's da 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 da." I had a whole bunch of comments like that. And then I did my gratitude journaling for the night. And sometimes I just like to say things or write things as if they've already happened, because your subconscious does not know the difference in anything that's happening now or anything that or what you're imagining. It doesn't know. So you can trick it to out picturing what you want to happen by speaking about it or thinking about it as if it's already happened. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, in my gratitude journal, I just wrote down something like to the effect of, "I am grateful for the encouragement and support that I get from my family and friends, for my creativity, and I am grateful for all of the orders that I got." And no sooner than I wrote that, I got the theme message on Facebook, and I went back on, and two people ended up asking to order one of the trays. So that was pretty cool. That was the 27th. Excuse me. And March 28th, I early morning, I've been having this pull towards something, so I played the Walkman game again, and the first clear song that came on was that song "1,000 Years" by Christina Perri. And I love that song. It's a beautiful song. The lyrics are beautiful, and it just kind of just made me feel very comforted. So that was cool. And later I had been watching Jessica at Bahati Life, and she's like an astrology tarot type person, and I honestly don't even know if I ascribe to that astrology or tarot. I have always been interested in like the stars and stuff like that, but I haven't been like hardcore learning stuff like that. But there's something about this girl's actual energy and that I like, so I go to her channel and watch her stuff. And so she happened to be talking about La Petite Mort. And this was a phrase I learned a long time ago when I used to read, well, I still read her, but I started reading Beverly Jenkins, who's one of my favorite authors, and she writes historical fiction for African American characters. And she used to use the phrase "la petite mort," which in French means the little death and implies orgasms. And it also implies like release and things of that nature. And Jessica was talking about how we were coming into a release, and I just kind of resonated with that, because I feel like I'm starting to release old conceptions of myself and inviting new ideas about who I am and who I want to be. And that there are some things that I need to release in order to start becoming the person that I want to be, which it's a daily process, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, anyway, that is pretty much it for the month. If you guys have any comments or questions about anything, I'll be happy to answer them below. Let me know what you guys have been up to. And yeah, that's about it for this flip. Thanks for joining me, guys. If you're new to this channel, you like this content, I'd appreciate it if you would subscribe, like, share, and definitely hit the bell icon to get the notifications. I generally post on Mondays and Fridays, and have been doing really well with that until my craft fair showed up and just threw me completely off. So I'm trying to get back on track. So yeah, here we go. Talk to you in the next one, guys. Bye.